What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode in the Road to Glory career mode. I want to say a massive thank you first off for all of the support shown on the channel recently. It is fantastic to see. But also, today's episode's a big one. We have 21 minutes to sit through and get through today. So hopefully you're excited. We are going to be playing the rest of season number 1. And trying to get ourselves into League 1. So the worst case scenario is we will get playoffs. I don't think we can drop lower than playoffs. The best case scenario, we will win the league. We're going to see how that's all going to come together in this episode right here. So if you haven't already paused, go and get yourselves a drink, a snack, then come back and get ready to watch this Grimsby town hopefully get promoted to League 1, should I say. Like I said, worst case scenario, we have to play playoffs. The best case scenario, we win League 2 itself. So there is at least 10 games to come. We kickstart those off with this game here against Tranmere. And do not worry about this first little bit right here. It's not your YouTube or anything like that. Unfortunately, my recording software froze and then came back to see the back end of the first goal of the game anyway. So at least you got to see how it went in. Ben Pringle was the man to score the opening goal against Tranmere and get us off on the front foot, if you can say that. But like I said, it wasn't you. That was the only thing that happened in this episode, which was a bit of an issue with the recording software. So hopefully it was a one-off. But regardless, Ben Pringle's opening goal inside 6 minutes gave us the lead. Tranmere went down the right-hand side. Stockton here, good work actually from him. Puts the ball in. And it's a good save from McNamee that makes it to be able to keep the score at 1-0. I said I wasn't completely set in stone about McNamee, but I'm going to say right now that is a very good save from the young Irishman. And hopefully he can continue to do that for us in League 1 if he gets the nod. The reason I'm saying that is because there is somebody who comes through our youth academy today who looks like an absolute machine. We'll talk about that later. But we weren't in front for long because from that save, they got a corner, they put it in the mixer, and somehow the ball ended up in the back of our net. I've got absolutely no idea how this actually happened because if you take a look at this from replay, all I'm going to say is it was horrific defending from us. It really was. Look at that. The man on the line and McNamee just getting each other's way, and somehow the ball ended up in the back of our net to make it 1-1. But that is the beauty of League 2. Not too long later, Ben was at it again, this time assisting. Lovely cross into the mixer, and there was Wes Thomas to put us back in front at 2-1. Really, really like this goal because, again, the cross, the delivery from Ben Pringle is absolutely sensational. And the guy's just a machine, man. For this league, and I'm going to assume for like League 1 as well, he could do bits for us. My only problem is I'm not completely set in stone about bringing him in terms of that one because he is now 30 years of age. And I don't want it to be a case of us bringing him back in for it then to have to miss out for someone in from our youth academy. So you need to think about that one. Make our decision and then decide later on at the later stage. However, he was playing a massive part here and we continued in the second half to pile the pressure on. Robles through to Thomas. Lovely little ball through towards Hughes. He should have scored, but he hit the outside of the post and I can't really complain too much at him. He's not used to getting in that position. He's still fairly, I say, new to the side, but even with that, a 2-1 win against today's opponents. Beginning it off against Tranmere was a really nice way to start the episode off because it keeps us top and that means now that as it stands, I don't think we can actually drop out of the top 7. So top 7 in Remember's playoffs, top 3 go up through automatic promotion. So that was all good to make sure of that one. And in terms of the first game, it was all about just kind of getting into the swing of things. 2 points ahead of Exeter at this point, 8 points ahead of 3rd place. Everything was going good and there was 9 games remaining. So remember that, guys, 9 games to play. And we were 8 points ahead of 3rd, 9 ahead of 4th. So the worst case that I don't want us to have is drop out of the top 3. I at least want the automatic promotion. So 9 points is what we can afford to somewhat give away. As much as you don't want to give away that because you don't want to lose grounding on that sort of thing, then obviously we've just got to kind of do it as we can. Try and just keep going. Every game basically from this point forward is somewhat of a cup final, if you could say that. Up next was Northampton. Decided to sim it back to our full strength side. You can see it there. Got to say, Max Jackson, our right back, is growing very, very nicely. And for a right back to come through the youth academy, I don't generally see a lot of left backs, right backs coming through the youth academy who can actually play a part because usually they're too slow or they're just not as good as you would hope and you have to sort of bring one in. He's doing bits for us in the side. That's all I'm going to say. I think we actually, was it a draw there against Northampton? I can't remember off the top of my head, but you guys saw the result, and it was exactly pretty much the same side as we faced Bury. This one was really, really interesting because you may notice that Bury were in the top side of the table. They were in the top 4 at least. So this sim right here was risky because I was looking at this thinking to myself, worst case scenario, we lose this. and they closed the gap. But I didn't feel like we were gonna. McNeil scored to make it 1-0. They equalised, but then a minute later, McNeil got his second of the match to make it 2-1, and we then managed to get on and win the game against Bury, which meant we got 3 points, and we didn't even have to play it. Now, I will say this, obviously, I'm not going to be playing all 10 games, as you've already seen. I've simmed a couple. My plan was to play the away games and sim the home ones, effectively, so that we could have the best opportunity of actually winning the games. So that was what I was looking at, and it didn't actually pan out that way. You'll see it later on, but we then took on Oldham Athletic away from home, and this one was quite tough. Takefusa Kubo found his way through to Ethan Cox. Cox lays it on the plate for Thomas. Thomas should score. He put it wide of the post, and that was the first chance we managed to create. So it looked good. Things were going very well indeed at the beginning of this game. But then Oldham decided they wanted to spoil the party a little bit, as they went through a great save from McNamee originally here to stop the actual play from progressing. And then we move forward a matter of minutes, 3 or so to be in fact. Gardner puts a great cross in, Duffus heads it goalwards, it comes back off the woodwork, and Baxter puts the home side ahead with his head. The thing is, up until that point, we were defending well, we managed to stop them really creating much, but then out of nowhere they got that chance, and it was just so frustrating to watch it go into the back of our net. It was one of those things where you just think to yourself, please don't let it go in. And then we just crumbled effectively. But we were trying to fight our way back into the game. Ethan Shaw trying to shoot. Blocked well by the defender. Finding Kubo. Kubo out wide to McNeil. He puts the cross in. Thomas is there again. And this time it's the post denying our forward a goal. So he missed one already. Then hits the woodwork. It just didn't look like it was going to be our day. Until in the second half, McNeil bursting down the right. Our Scotsman came inside with the ball roll. Curled it in the back of the net to make it Oldham 1. Grimsby Town 1. Potentially this could have been a lot worse here. You know, if we lose this game, we're only 2 points ahead of Exeter, as you have seen. They could have closed the gap and gone in front by a point. So the one thing we had to do, by all means, was avoid the defeat. A draw, as much as it wasn't great, it was acceptable. So getting ourselves back into the game showed a lot of character, a lot of heart, and I felt like we deserved more from the game itself. Anyway, 13th league goal of the season for McNeil, and that was the way the game would end. We tried to push for the winner, couldn't find it, and in the end, it was all even here from the game against Oldham. Like I said, though, it was an acceptable result. Comparing it to how it was previously when we were losing 1-0, everything could have gone bad. We at least managed to get ourselves the point from the game, so you can't really say too much more than well done for that. More players coming through the Youth Academy right now. And here is where we pick up one of the players that I wanted to show you guys. Malcolm Watson, a goalkeeper from Scotland, standing 6'6" tall. He looks like an absolute machine, and I'll show you right now. He already comes into the side at 64 overall. So he's one less than Donna McNamee, but he is actually taller and has a similar potential. So I'm not sure who our number one will be for the next season if he does come in. Rodney Jansen, the Scout Future Star from the Netherlands, 5'10", is available to come in now. He has actually only got a potential of 78 to like 83 or something, which isn't high enough in my opinion for a Scout Future Star. But I promoted him anyways. We'll try and get him involved in some first team action. You never know. He might outgrow that. He might turn to be an absolute machine for us. Therefore, I was willing to take the risk and see what was going to happen. I mean, it's not much of a risk at this point, as we are pretty much already secured League One football. But yeah, so I'm showing you the guys we picked up. So we got ourselves a new goalkeeper. We got Morris. And here is Rodney Jansen. Medium, low attacking work rates. Can play striker, centre forward, 4-star weak foot. But a 3-star skill moves, which doesn't really make too much of a difference to me because I don't use skills anyway. So it's fine. But all I will say is he doesn't look too bad. My only worry is he's not that quick. So we need to try and get his sprint speed up whilst he also gets his acceleration up alongside that as well. And I know obviously if I'd have left him in there in the youth squad, they would have grown their physicals a little bit better. But I'm not that interested in it. We can train sprint speed this year. So the only one we can't do is acceleration, which isn't too bad. So, yeah, Rodney Jansen comes in, Malcolm Watson comes in, and Morris all come in as well. Very happy to have them on board. I can't wait to see just how Rodney Jansen is going to perform. I'm not sure if he plays in the first game here. He will get involved in today's episode. You can see that our next opponents were Morecambe, a side in the division who weren't doing terribly, but weren't doing brilliant either. They've not got a bad team. I think Mandeville, that's Liam Mandeville, is the one who used to play for Doncaster, leading the line for them. And you can see our side, 4-4-2, pretty much the same standard one you're used to seeing. Ben Pringle nicks the ball very early on, finding Thomas. Thomas to Kubo. Kubo back to Thomas, and it's a lovely play. Even better finish from Wes Thomas, who is the club's top scorer currently in the league this season, and you can certainly see why. If it's not Pringle laying on the cross for him, if it's not him just running through and finding the finesse shot, it's him dinking the top of the goalkeeper. Lovely chip over the top of him, gives us the lead away at Morecambe, and things were going very well indeed. And the reason that this is so important is because after this game, depending on the result, we could have secured ourselves top 3 football. So we did have an automatic promotion provided we won this game effectively. So we just had to hold on to this, but Morecambe made it very difficult. Campbell, good shot, good save, McNamee, then gets up, isn't quick enough to get back onto the rebound. I make a mistake, should have cleared the ball here. They get it back, Campbell lays it into the middle, Mandenville shot, it's deflected all over the place, and eventually McNamee is able to get on the end of it and stop anything from progressing for Morecambe. But then we got ourselves another opportunity. McNeil towards Thomas, Thomas into Kubo, Kubo laying out wide towards Ben Pringle. Have a look at this, by the way. Pringle comes inside, lays it on a plate, and there is Takefusa, Kubo's first Grimsby Town goal. He's waited so long to get it, but it's finally appeared for him. There it is. I was so happy after this one, because it's like I said, he's waited a long time to get it for us. He's had chances, he's had keepers saving shots that he's had and goal, and it just felt like it's been coming, and he's played a massive part since his January transfer in here. He's laid, goals on a plate for his teammates and such. I was so happy to see him get off the mark for us and make sure of a goal. You can see it wasn't the most commanding performance in the world, but what it did mean is, like I said, after that game there, we had pretty much secured top 3 football. MK Dons mathematically can still catch us, but with 4 games to go, they were 10 points behind. A draw in our game and them losing would be enough. So pretty much from here on out, guys, we just had to get a result here. MK Dons 10 points behind. This right here would secure it mathematically, but the last game, as I said, against Morecambe pretty much already had done it. So I was just hoping we could enjoy this game here. Ethan Shaw finding Kubo early on. Kubo going through, looking for a similar finish, looking for 2 in 2 now to as Wes Thomas has finished last game, but he gets it wrong on this occasion and can't chip the goalkeeper. And then just before half-time, Wes Thomas, lovely ball to McNeil. McNeil brings it down very well indeed, comes inside, and it's a McNeil special. Left foot, weak foot, 3-star weak foot, by the way. Came inside, curled it in off the post. Thank you very much. Colchester 0, Grimsby Town 1, ladies and gentlemen. I said it when he first signed for us, right at the beginning of this series, how important a part he would play. And that is no more confirmed than this goal right here. He's going to be massive. He really is going to be massive for us in the future. And I'm just so excited to see what he's going to finish the season on in terms of goals. Into the second half, we were able to keep this one in as it bounces back to Wes Thomas. Very lucky to actually get the ricochet off the defender, but he makes no mistake with the finish to make it 2-0 Grimsby. And it's what we expected to see. I was so glad. I was so happy the way we played. That does mathematically secure it now. This win here does mean that we are going to at least be in the top 3 come the end of the season. And it's more than we could ask for. When we began the season off, I said as long as we end up with a really good team at the end of this season, and specifically of players that, we picked up from our youth academy, I'd be very happy. Well, I'm no more happy than I am now as Rose makes it 3-0. Securing the 3 points, and that is all she wrote for Colchester. Unfortunately for them, they didn't really perform on the day. They gave as good as they could, but it was just not enough because we were dominant throughout. We pretty much had everything that we required. We were able to create chances galore. They did get on the score sheet. It was only a consolation, 5 minutes from time. A poor defensive header away from our fullback. I think Josh Tymer was the man to do it, and it came straight back at us, and it was a good finish in the end from Colchester. But it took nothing away from the game, really didn't, and that would secure us top 3, which means we are a League One club come the end of this season, ladies and gentlemen. Not secured it as champions yet, as we go into another game right now, but we are secured, and we do have automatic promotion out of League 2 into League One. We are going to be playing League One football next season, ladies and gents. I'm so excited for that one. Hopefully our side will look unbeatable as well when we go in that division. I'm not sure how it's going to look. I don't know who's going to come for our youth academy. I just want to warn you guys right now, I have sent our new scouts out to different countries. We've only got England is the same one that I left in there. Obviously being an English club, I want some English talent still coming through. But the other 2 places we sent them was to Mexico, and where was the other one? Possibly Netherlands? Yeah, Mexico, England, and Netherlands is where we've sent our scouts for this upcoming next season. So hopefully we get some really good players coming through. And that was, I guess, you guys pretty much did that because I asked you guys where you wanted me to send them, and you guys said to Mexico, and I saw a comment as well for the Netherlands as well. So that's where we sent them for the upcoming season. This game here with, I think, 3 or 4 games to go. No, this was 3 games to go. We were 8 points clear at the top of the table. So a victory here would secure us championship winners, which is pretty good because not only getting promotion out of League 2, but also finishing as champions was one thing that I wanted. Shaw's opener, my goodness me, the two Ethans are going to be unbelievable in League 1. I'm saying that right now. Was then cancelled out by a Carlisle really, really good header. Jones's corner in. Miller gets up well, heads it into the ground, into the top corner. And it was Grimsby 1, Carlisle 1. And I will say this, although mathematically the draw does not secure us as champions, it still pretty much was there or thereabouts. So as long as we didn't lose, I was happy. I was happy as long as we did not lose this game. Going back to the two Ethans though, all I'm saying is Cox and Shaw next season, if they are still at the club, I'll be very, very glad because there's going to be a lot of teams wanting to pick up these talents. McNeil especially, he's on 15 goals, I think, for the end of the season or something like that. You know, the likes of the two Ethans are, technically speaking, the best players in the division this season in terms of overall rating. And I will say as well, I didn't actually see a team of the season voted this year in League 2, so I'm not sure if it does it or not. But I didn't actually see it in the news when it came around and we finished off the season. As Shaw, in the second time in a game, does pretty much the same shot and scores it for the second time of asking as well. Wonderful finish. As I said, he's going to have a bright future here at Grimsby Town. And that goal right there is just part and parcel what you want to see at the club. We didn't stop there though. 20 or so minutes to go. Kubo comes inside. Look at this. Passes to Ben Pringle. He knows exactly what he wants to do. Knocks it out of his feet with the left foot. Curls it in the bottom corner with the right foot. And that, my friends, is going to be Ben Pringle's last goal for the club for the moment. Because, as I said, we might bring him in next season if I have the funding to do it. And we want to make that deal happen. What I might do, I might ask you guys on a vote to decide whether or not he comes back next year when we start the episode off. But I'll let you guys, of course, decide that in the comment section. Hit me up with a little comment. Maybe you want to see him next year at the club. But like I said, I will put a poll out probably next episode to decide that. But that, ladies and gentlemen, ended off the season here in League 1 with 2 games remaining. We had secured the title and we were title winners. I had to obviously show you guys this because it means so much to be able to get yourselves promoted out of League 2 into League 1. For me, the bit I enjoy the most about Road to Glory sort of style career modes is the beginnings, because you get these players that come from absolutely nowhere, make a name for themselves, and you just remember them. You know, I've had the likes of, in my time on YouTube, I've had the likes of Riera Canadell come through. Ollie Hill came through. That was the first ever Road to Glory series I did on the channel. We had those two absolute beasts that came into our Hartlepool team. Last year, it wasn't as, you know, prominent. We didn't have players come through who really played a massive part in the Crew Alexander Road to Glory because we focused more on, like, youth talent, if you will. Esri Conso was a big player for us in that series. We had, obviously, George Evans scoring multitude of important goals for us. Champions League final, you know, I remember that goal as well. So I like to have these players come through. And no more so than having a titles-winning side that has pretty much 50 or 60% of it being from our youth academy means so much to the club's future. So excited to say this, but we are playing League 1 football next year. We're going to obviously be able to see what the budget is next season, but we don't really care about that because we're more focused on our youth academy. But if we do have an extra couple of million, we might be able to bring in some younger players that you guys suggest. So if you have absolutely any players that you want to see join us next season, leave me a comment on this episode and also on the next one, and I'll give you guys as much as I possibly can do. Obviously, the last 2 games of the season mean nothing now, so I decided to go ahead and sim them. Here is the results. A win in the first one, and then I think a defeat in the second, potentially. It was the way we finished it. I can't remember off the top of my head, but there is the final table. We won the league, 92 points, 7 points ahead of second place MK Dons, which was surprising because they came out of nowhere. Exeter finished in third after a defeat on the final day to Forest Green Rovers, which was surprising as well because for large parts, Exeter were running away with the league itself. Colchester in fourth, Bury down in fifth. There was all sorts of good stuff going on. Here is the scout report, though, for this season, guys. I'm going to make sure I keep tabs on this because what I want to do by the end of it is know how many players have made how many appearances, scored how many goals as well, so that at the end of the series, I can show you it in a full sort of spreadsheet style. Right now, I think our top appearance maker was one of Josh Timon. I think it was Timon, actually, was a top appearance maker. It might have been Wes Thomas as well. Ross Sykes came in from Accrington, and he's got 41 appearances to his name this season, which is pretty good. Josh Timon on 42. Oh, sorry, Davis got 46 appearances, so maybe he was a top assist maker. The top appearance maker. Hessenthaler actually made 38 as well. Pretty mad. Rose with 38, Peterson with 23, Ben Pringle 51. All right, he is, I think, the highest, if not McNeil. Ben Pringle, 51 appearances, 13 goals, 12 assists. Is madness to see. Ethan Cox on 23, Ethan Short on 19, McNeil on 50 with 15 goals and 3 assists in the time he played. Didn't get many assists in League 2, but he did score 15. Wes Thomas, the club's top scorer with 54 appearances, 21 goals and 8 assists. Rob Les with 8. He scored those in the first couple of episodes. But that is it for the squad report, guys. I want to thank you all so much for your support in Season 1 of this series. I'm so excited to bring you Season 2. If you are excited as well, a like would be greatly appreciated. And I will see you all for the beginning of League 1 life in the next episode in the next couple of days. So make sure, if you're not already subscribed, you hit that subscribe button and hit the notification bell alongside it as well. And until next time, guys, enjoy your weekend. Welcome to Friday. And I'll see you all again later on tonight for another video. Catch you all then. Adios.